All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to break down Cal Newport's fantastic book, Digital Minimalism. The whole idea behind it is how to choose a focused life in what, let's be honest, feels like an incredibly noisy world. And it all kind of kicks off with this quote from Andrew Sullivan: "I used to be a human being." Wow. I mean, that really hits hard, doesn't it? It just perfectly captures that feeling so many of us have, this constant, endless stream of information that leaves you feeling distracted, frazzled, and maybe a little less human. But what's the real issue here? Cal Newport argues, and I think he's spot on, that it's not about whether our devices are useful. I mean, of course they are. The real problem, the thing that makes us feel so uneasy, is our loss of autonomy. It's that feeling that we're not fully in control of our own attention anymore. So, how in the world did we get to this point? Well, it feels like we're stuck in this totally lopsided arms race for our own attention. And the funny thing is, none of us consciously chose this. We just sort of backed into it. I mean, just look at this comparison. It's pretty wild. Remember the first iPhone back in 2007? Its big selling point was that it was an iPod that could also make phone calls. That was it. Now, the average person checks their smartphone 85 times a day. 85! And Facebook? Back in '04, it was just this quirky thing you used to find old friends from high school. Today, social media eats up about 2 hours of the average person's day. The promise was small, but the reality has become absolutely massive. And you have to understand, this didn't happen by accident. I love this quote from Bill Maher. He says, "The tycoons of social media are just tobacco farmers in t-shirts selling an addictive product to children." It's a harsh way to put it, but it reframes the whole problem. This isn't about you having a lack of willpower. It's about you being on the receiving end of an incredibly well-funded business plan. And the science behind it is pretty clear. Psychologists call it behavioral addiction. It's a real, recognized condition. It's when a person keeps doing something that feels rewarding, even when they know it's having a negative impact on their life. It works just like substance addiction, but in this case, the behavior itself is the drug. So how exactly do they get us hooked? It really boils down to two main psychological tricks. First, you've got intermittent positive reinforcement. Think about it. The rewards, a like here, a retweet there, they're totally unpredictable. That turns your phone into a little slot machine in your pocket, and every pull gives you a little dopamine hit that keeps you coming back. And second, there's our deep-seated drive for social approval. We are wired, from an evolutionary standpoint, to seek approval from our tribe. Tech companies know this, and they exploit it, making us constantly check in to make sure we're still liked, still part of the group. So, yeah, this all sounds a little bleak, right? We're basically up against armies of engineers whose entire job is to capture our attention. So if the usual advice, little tips and tricks and just trying harder, isn't going to cut it, then what is the answer? Well, Newport's answer isn't just another life hack. It's a whole philosophy. Let's dig into the minimalist philosophy and see how it offers a real way forward. And here it is, the core idea in a nutshell. Digital minimalism. It's a philosophy where you focus your time online on a very small number of carefully selected activities, things that really, truly support what you value in life. And here's the kicker. You then happily miss out on everything else. That's the revolutionary part, being happy to let the rest of it go. Now, this isn't just some vague concept. The whole philosophy is built on 3 really intuitive principles that explain exactly why it's so effective. Okay, here they are. Principle 1. Clutter is costly. Having dozens of apps and services vying for your attention isn't just distracting, it carries a huge mental cost. 2. Optimization is important. It's not enough to just use a tool. You have to think really carefully about how to use it to get the maximum benefit for the minimum cost. And finally, number 3, intentionality is satisfying. The simple act of choosing, of being deliberate with your technology, gives you this incredible sense of control and satisfaction. Okay, so that's all the theory, but what does this actually look like in real life? This is the fun part. Let's talk about the payoff. What happens when you start living a more intentional life? Let's take the story of a guy named Tyler. He went all in. He quit all social media. And just look at what happened. He was way more focused at work, and he ended up getting a promotion. He started crushing 3 or 4 books a month. He started learning the ukulele. And, maybe most importantly, he grew so much closer to his wife and kids. See, he didn't just get his time back. He reinvested it into the things that actually mattered to him. Or here's another great story. A father of 3 named Dave. He cut way back on his screen time and he started this amazing new ritual. Every single night, he draws a picture for each of his kids to put in their lunchbox. And he says, "This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't protect how I spend my time." Think about that. He traded an endless stream of digital noise for a personal legacy of connection with his kids. And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question that this whole philosophy makes you ask yourself. So much of the tech we adopt offers us some kind of minor convenience. But what is one thing, just one, that you truly value more than that? What part of your life is so important that it's worth protecting from all the noise? Answering that question, well, that's what digital minimalism is all about.